Hey my friends, this is Sylvie Curry, Lady of Q, and today I'm gonna make pizza from scratch. Yes, pizza dough from scratch. You all know that I'm not a baker. I don't do this very often, but my son is here and he wanted me to make pizza for him. He's the chef, but here, I'm making the pizza. Anyway, this is gonna be a Neapolitan style pizza. And I don't claim it to be Neapolitan anything, I'm only saying Neapolitan style. And then I'm going to make the pizza crust a thin crust, and we're going to use yeast, so it should be an airy type dough. And we'll see what we get. Okay, let's do this thing. These are the ingredients for my pizza. And it's going to be a sort of classic recipe where a lot of the ingredients are based upon percentages. So for example, if I'm going to be using flour, flour is determined to be my 100% factor, then everything else is going to be a percentage in weight of what I'm using in flour. For this recipe, I'm going to be using 750 grams of flour, and that's already weighed out. I've got 500 grams of water, and that's a little bit more than 2 cups. I've got salt, and that's 12.5 grams of salt, 25 grams of olive oil, and olive oil is sometimes in this type of recipe, sometimes not. I'm going to try it. The last time I did this pizza, I did not put it in, so this time I'm going to try it and see if it comes out different. I've got yeast, and this is dry yeast, 2.5 grams. And I've got some honey, and that's about 2.5 grams. So usually the amount of water is going to be 60 to 65%, depending upon how hydrated you want your dough to be. Yeast is going to be about 0.2%. Flour is the 100% factor as mentioned, and salt is 3%. Typically the yeast that is used in these recipes is a fresh yeast, which I know is not readily available. Actually, I could not find any, so I'm just using active dry. And I use that as a factor of the amount of fresh yeast. For example, and I'll give that percentage and I'll put this in the description. 30 grams of fresh yeast is equivalent to approximately 50 grams of active dry yeast, which is equivalent to approximately 7 grams of instant yeast. To start this recipe, I'm going to first take my water, and I'm going to add that to my bowl. Then I'm going to take the yeast and add that to the water and give it a chance to do its blooming thing. I've got my yeast in the water, and this is room temperature water. Ordinarily, they say sometimes you use warm water, but not over 110 degrees, because then that'll kill the yeast. So, and then some recipes just say, just stick it on in there and it'll work, and it seems like it's doing its thing right now. So I'm getting ready to add the olive oil. Got my olive oil in the water with my yeast, and the next step is to add the flour. And a little bit at a time, and let it incorporate in that water. Flour, yeast, and olive oil mixture. I'm also going to add the salt. Now there's some considerations regarding the salt. Salt kills the yeast, so you don't want to add it directly with the yeast mixture. You can mix it in the flour and add it, which is a step that I probably should have done. It would have made it maybe a little easier. But that's okay, it'll all get mixed this way also. And now I'm going to also add in my honey. And this is going to knead for approximately 15 to 20 minutes, depending upon what it looks like to me at that time period. And we'll come back and see what we have. This is my dough after about 7 minutes of kneading. This is my dough after about 12 minutes of kneading. This is my dough after about 20 minutes of kneading. And let me test it. I think I'm gonna let it go a little bit longer. This is my dough after the first round of kneading, the first 20 minutes of kneading. So I'm going to take this ball and put it in a pan with a little bit of olive oil in it. And I'm going to let this rest for about an hour. And then we'll come back to it. This is Alan's ball. He does a good job.
These earrings.
The box is made of cake. The coconuts are made of rice cereal treat and modeling chocolate filled with bartrain. The straws and the bow are made of sugar, and the mankini and the tickets are fondant and gum paste. The bow is stunning. It's absolute perfection, but it doesn't
It's already sliced.
inside the box. The textures on the coconuts are so believable, and the straws are impeccable. So Jeremy, you did a great job there, but I think that the overall presentation falls short.
The coconuts are beautiful. The drink in there.
You eat 5 pieces?
A little bit of glitter on it, so it kind of.
You're doing it.
A little bit.
I don't know how it's gonna melt. Not like I do it every day.
Ripley long. And the shirt is made from fondant with airbrush detail. What do you think, Jason? You want to wear that shirt? The gentleman right there is now qualified.
The judges is very, very I think he minds with my fingers up his nose.
And we have to speed it up, but we have to keep the quality.
Yes.
That's incredible.
I want to take a video. I'm not even that organized.
I know.